Sure me. Okay, I'd like to call the Capital Project Operation Committee meeting to start. Courtesy of the floor if you have anything. And I don't see nothing, so you're up, Mike.
All right.
Update for the capital projects.
Okay, starting here at the Government Center, we have a project that is currently designed to replace the concrete retaining wall on 7th Street. It's fallen apart. We have USA Architects under contract to finalize the bid specs on that, and that should get put out to bid this spring.
Was that the one where an email was sent about us joining the RFP or if a member of council wanted to participate?
It's possible. I think one of those goes out every time that we do that.
I think it was recently.
Okay.
Next, we have the parking deck repairs. So a purchase order was issued in January to THA Consulting to conduct a structural assessment of the existing parking deck and prepare design plans and specifications for a repair project. The inspection was completed in late February, and we just got the draft report back this week. Their recommendation is that the parking deck be replaced in the near future, and that the county pursue interim repairs, structural repairs, and waterproofing measures to extend the use of the deck for another couple years. So THA is currently working on the bid plans and specs for those interim repairs.
So all they want us to do is repair it? Do they have a cost of replacement as part of the study that they did?
Not a cost of replacement. Their estimate for the repair work was about $400,000.
That's just repair. Wow.
So, yeah, because I would have asked that question. How much does it cost to replace, and when is the next moment that you're going to have to replace it? Like, how long are these repairs going to last?
It would be another, 3 to 5 years, most likely.
So $400,000 to replace, to keep it going for 3 to 5 years. I think it's worth it to find out, like, how much
I would.
it's going to cost to replace it.
I mean, it'd probably be somewhere in the ballpark of around 10 million.
10 million.
I
Okay.
could believe that. I would think so.
So $400,000 will keep it going for the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, my recollection is that we went through a similar process, was it maybe 10, 12 years ago? It was the same, it was kind of the same thing. It was like, well, it would cost us X to repair it or we could replace it. And here we are again, 10 years later, dropping more money to keep repairing.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it was built in 1974, so
Really?
we've gotten our money's worth out of it.
Sure. So why wouldn't we put the $400,000 towards a new one?
10 million.
Is it just not time?
Well, it's at a point where it needs repairs now. Even if we got the green light to build a new deck, it would still be a process to get the engineering and all that squared away. So this would just be the repairs that are necessary to keep it safe until we could pursue a replacement structure.
The Band-Aid then. Got it.
Yeah, my recollection is that originally the plan was that you would have been able to add additional decks to it. However, I think that the rules and regulations at some point changed and that you can no longer add to that deck. And so the only choice, if you wanted to, would be a replacement.
We had the good fortune to know the man who very first drove onto the parking deck. That was Rodney Applegate when it opened. The commissioners, not the county council, took the deduct because they didn't put proper footings on the original. That's why we could never go up.
I knew there was some reason.
Yeah, the deduct was taken by the commissioners.
I think it would be worthwhile, though, to study the cost of replacement. Otherwise, every 10 years, you're probably going to be dropping $500,000 plus whatever.
Well, eventually, yeah.
Yeah, it would have to be part of some sort of a bond issue, but to get an estimate might be worth looking into.
Okay, we can do that.
The next elevator.
The elevator modernization project. The county entered into a contract last year with TK Elevator to modernize elevators 2 and 3 here at the Government Center Annex. The work includes new controllers, new door equipment, new car and hall fixtures. Unfortunately, TK Elevator just informed me this week that they're continuing to experience supply chain issues with their traction elevator controllers. So at this point, they do not know when they are going to be starting this one.
Wow.
And staying on that theme, the generator replacement for Juvenile Justice Center, Albarell Electric was awarded that contract last year. And they notified me this week as well that there's a delay with the engines for the generators. So it's caused production to slip to June of this year.
Okay.
Was that part of a bond issue, the generator replacement?
We are using leftover bond funding for that.
Okay.
All right. I guess we'll go to Graysdale.
Okay, roof replacement at the southwest wing. We solicited bids through CoStar's contract to re-roof the southwest wing. The scope includes removal of the loose or damaged membrane, insulation, installation of new EPDM, and insulation. The 3 bids were received for that. The contract was awarded to the Worco Group, and work started earlier this month, and they're about halfway done with it at this point.
Okay.
Does that affect the patients or the staff in any way?
No, it does not.
Okay. Any questions there? Flooring replacement?
An RFP was issued for architectural and engineering services related to a flooring replacement of the northwest wing. This wing's been having issues with the VCT flooring that's popping up in spots. So we're looking to do a complete replacement in the hallway areas. We received 2 proposals for that and have made a recommendation to award to Structural Workshop. And the design work on that should be starting up very shortly.
Yeah, I did see that.
What is VCT for those of us who don't speak construction?
Vinyl composite tile.
Very good. Daycare renovations, how are you doing with that?
Okay, we finally got the approval that we needed from Life Safety to proceed with the plans. So USA Architects is in the process of finalizing the bid specifications for that, and that should be out to bid possibly next week.
We still on project to $200,000 for the cost?
Maybe a slightly over.
Okay. So I thought it would be, yeah. All right. Nursing stations?
We've been working with Interior Workplace Solutions to try to find a replacement for the existing nursing stations in the tower that are in poor condition. So we placed an order for for nursing stations for 1 floor that we're using as kind of a test project. Those are scheduled to arrive next week. So depending on if the staff is happy with the quality and the functionality of that, we're going to purchase additional furniture to furnish the remaining floors with new nursing stations.
Okay.
So wait a second. You're testing out the first floor to see if the nurses like them, and what happens if they don't? Can you send them back?
I don't know about,
Probably not an option, right?
probably not.
So like we do with the chairs kind of thing? I mean, how else do you pick these?
We've looked at a number of different furniture suppliers, and it's kind of a specialized type of industry making this, equipment that's more suitable for hospital settings. So we've kind of explored all of our options here, so,
Did they have any say in picking them up prior to?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay. Any more questions? Generator replacement at Graysdale?
Okay, so this is the other part of the contract with Albarell Electric. And once again, they notified us of engine delays, and they're telling us that the generator is scheduled for production in July.
Okay.
It's diesel fuel, right?
Yes.
And I wanted, just to go back, one at the juvenile center is June, you were saying?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Can I, on Graysdale, a couple others, I'm just looking at the budget, bathrooms, we had budgeted, what, 200,000?
Yeah, that money, we put it out to bid last year and the pricing came in very high on that. And in speaking with the administrator at Graysdale, their higher priority right now in terms of flooring is the flooring in the northwest wing. So we're looking to reallocate the funding that was being used for the bathrooms to address the northwest flooring.
Okay, would we expect a budget amendment then?
I can work with fiscal on that.
Water tower?
That is substantially complete. We're just waiting on them to come back once the weather improves to address the final punch list items.
Okay. And then the third one is ARP capital improvements, American Rescue Plan, I guess. What, was it $800,000? What were the specifics? That's kind of,
That included the electrical upgrades, which we're going to be releasing an RFP in the near future for the engineering work on that. I think that also included the smoke detector replacements, which is completed at this point, and loading dock upgrades, which Graysdale purchased or put a purchase order in for a forklift type of equipment that would basically suit the needs and make it much safer to unload trucks at that loading dock.
okay. And I think, I saw, we got a grant from, was that the one from Susan Wild's office, or,
That's a separate grant.
okay, was that included anywhere in here? Did we,
That's
what was that for? I remember seeing her press release or something.
the therapeutic garden was one of the projects that was included in the grant application. I believe Graysdale was asking for some furniture as well, and I believe cafeteria upgrades as part of that grant.
Okay. I can't remember the specifics, but I remember seeing the press release that we got. I think it was federal money, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I had.
Okay. Next, the prison, the D-tier.
Okay,
D-tier renovations.
So the renovation was completed, or substantially completed last month. The contractors are just in the process of wrapping up the remaining punch list items.
Okay.
I had a question on that. That one was slightly over budget for, I think we had a little presentation on that before. What was it over budget for and why?
The reason it was over budget was due to the lead abatement. Because the initial plan, it wasn't included in the GC, the general contractor's contract, because we have an environmental consultant that we work with regularly to do all of our abatement work. But unfortunately, they could not do this work for us. We had requested a quote, but they said since it's a renovation and not a complete removal, I guess the licensure that's required is different. So we could not use them for this, and we had to go through the GC. So
What did that cost us, an extra? It was like 400,000 or something.
yeah, it was about 300,000, I
300.
believe.
Jeez. So I guess then the next question is, when can we expect to have guests there?
I believe the prison is just waiting on some extra, or the furniture that they ordered to outfit that space to arrive. So I would have to check with Director Castora, but at some point this summer, I would believe.
And, okay, separately, while we're under jail in general, the West Easton facility, how is that? I mean, have you been down there? I mean, it hasn't been active.
It's been maybe about a year or so since I've been down there. I don't really know the status of that.
Okay. Is it ready for, same thing, when could we take guests in if necessary?
It's really a question for Castora.
Okay.
All right, anything else, John?
No, that's it for corrections.
Mike, Parks?
The Wyattsuck Pavilion replacement, material for the new pavilion was delivered earlier this year, and the building permit is currently under review with Williams Township. Once the permit is approved, we have Willow Playworks under contract to perform the necessary site prep and installation, and we're expecting that to be completed this spring.
The fencing there, or is that, it looks much better without that chain link fence.
Yes.
Is there a plan for fencing along 611 or no?
No.
Good.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to disturb that.
Okay, Louise Moore Park, the tennis courts.
A purchase order was issued through CoStars to Keystone Sports Construction back in January to resurface and paint 4 tennis courts and convert 2 existing tennis courts into 6 pickleball courts.
I was going to say, where are the pickleball courts?
Yeah. So that work is slated to begin on the pickleball courts around late April, early May, and the remaining work is scheduled for June.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Louise Moore Park, the Colonial Bathroom. And,
Contracts were awarded late last year for the GC electrical and plumbing necessary to install the prefabricated concrete restroom that we ordered from CXT. We have a pre-construction meeting scheduled for tomorrow, at which point we'll have the schedule that will allow us to order or to arrange for the delivery of the precast bathroom.
Okay, moving forward, great. All right, Louise Moore Park Windmill.
A purchase order was issued to Hoosier Windmills in February to install the new windmill assembly, new tower platforms, and repair the well system and fittings. The existing windmill has not been functional for, I believe, about a decade at this point. It's become a bit of a safety concern. So the new windmill will allow us to refill the adjacent pond in the park as well.
Okay, great. All right,
One other
Go
on,
ahead, Jim.
on parks. I mean, I think we've been kicking this one around for years, the barn.
Char-
You know, it's in the budget some years, it's out of the budget. It's in the budget this year. Has Brian said anything? What are your thoughts?
We're still reviewing our options with that one.
We've been doing that for a while.
you're all good, John?
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where it needs to be replaced, but it's not a priority. So it always seems to get kicked down the road. You know, do we absolutely need it? No. Should we replace it? Yes, but, you know, it's one of those things. I've got a lot of stuff like that at home, you know.
Don't we use that barn for storage
We do,
of
yes.
like large equipment?
Yes.
So where else would we store it?
We need a barn, yes.
So you need a barn.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Pole barns, you know?
That's probably, might do. Okay, next on the agenda is the energy performance contract with Johnson Controls.
Okay. JCI is in the final stages of construction on this, started last year. The only remaining work at this point is to complete the lighting upgrades at the prison and some minor punch list items.
Right. Okay, the next one is update on the bridges, Bridge 8, Crestman Road.
Okay, so construction has resumed after the delays that we incurred due to the unsuitable soils at the abutments. So an alternative scour protection system using grouted riprap was installed. NILEAV is currently working on the repairs to the abutments in preparation of installing the new superstructure, and construction should be completed this summer.
Bridge 15, Mellows Road. John and Lori's favorite bridge.
The utility coordination is ongoing. The final right-of-way plans are being circulated for signature. The final structure foundation design is underway, and PennDOT's projecting that it will be out to bid in January.
Of next year,
Yes.
so we're probably
Well-
looking award the contract, probably another 2 years, 25.
Wow.
Being optimistic.
No, construction should begin next summer.
Yeah, and that's 24, and it'll open in 25, right? I mean, you know, these two little bridges, you know, it just, I don't know. We used to be able to build things in this country. You know, it shouldn't take that long to replace bridges that small. Just my 2 cents.
All right, Bridge 74, Douglasville Road, Bushwood Township. Very well acquainted with that bridge.
Carroll Engineering is working on the final design for the replacement superstructure. We already received the approval from DEP for the permit application. The revised structural adequacy plan set has been sent into PennDOT to address the comments that they had on it. And once that review is approved, we'll be ready to get that out to bid for construction.
So we're open sometime this year or towards the end of the year.
Yeah, it should be later this year.
Okay, very
On,
good. Anything else?
Yeah, on bridges, any update on the P3? Is that moving along? Where's the,
There's 2 bridges remaining, one being the bridge on Willowbrook Road, right next to Wayne Grube. That's the one that's pretty complicated in terms of utility relocations, because the city of Bethlehem has a 30-inch main that runs directly under the bridge. So we've been working with the city to start the process for relocating that line. And the other bridge in question is Bridge 101. It's on Hanoverville Road in Lower Nazareth. That one is also still in design.
okay. Everything else is done then, except those 2, or?
Aside from punch list
Okay.
work, yes.
Well, that's
Kind of
good.
amazing.
Good. Any other
Amazing
questions?
how fast that bridge project went. Only like, what, 6 years? More than that. kind of.
Just one general question. I know we had yesterday some bond issue reallocation. Is there any other bond issue money out there that you're aware of from?
Bond issue. We are trying to use up the last of the 2013 bond with those generator projects. And there's a little bit of 2019 money that's remaining left over from the purchase of the Human Services Building and the Forensic Center construction.
All right, refresh my memory. 2013, I mean, I'm pretty sure I voted for it, but like 10 years is
I believe that was, well, primarily for the large generators that were installed at Graysdale a couple
okay.
years back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the reallocated money that we're approving tonight? No, that was from 2019.
What's? Oh. Yeah, that's not on the agenda for tonight. Is something on the agenda for? Okay.
There was one that was discussed at finance yesterday, am I?
Oh, I believe the professional construction contractors, that's, we're paying that one out of the 2019 bond.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And will that finish off that bond issue, or will there still be additional?
There will still be money left in the 2019 bond.
Okay. But 2013, that's something I think that we should have expended by now, so we'll see.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mike.
All right, thank you.
Adjourn. No, I didn't text me neither, so I don't know what. Yeah, thank you.
Forgot it.